ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside McGonigal Hall. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV. We've got Friday night quad meet action for you as the Temple Owls host Bowling Green, Penn, and Westchester. And Casey, the big story is we're a few weeks away, in some cases, from conference championship meets. The postseason is around the corner for each of these teams, and so we've officially hit March on the calendar, and this is the time where you really look at this sprint to the finish of the regular season and which team can get into postseason form. And so it'll be really exciting to see tonight who is making that stride to get ready.
Definitely. This is where, you know, the coaches mentioned that the season is a marathon, not a sprint, but you're getting towards the end where you really need to focus on all of your landings, hit it in 24 out of 24 routines, and really practicing for what you're hopefully going to compete at the ECAC Championships in a couple weeks.
So if you look at the numbers, Temple comes in as the highest ranked of these four teams. They are 48th in the nation. They've also had the highest individual score. They're the only team out of this group to break the 195 threshold. They have scored 195 twice this season. But Penn, who Temple is going to see in a couple weeks right here for an ECAC championship, Penn is coming off just a few weeks ago an Ivy Classic title where they put together their best meet of the season by far. They scored a 194-850 up in Ithaca, New York, and obviously two local rivals who see each other a lot throughout the regular season, and you know that both of those teams want to be at their best in a few weeks when there's a conference title and a trophy on the line.
Yeah, and Penn is really doing what every coach wants, is to get those scores higher towards the end of the season, and they're increasing those scores, and hopefully they'll continue to do that leading up into the championship and coming off of some confidence from that Ivy League championship.
Penn will be on beam to start the meet. We also welcome Westchester, who was originally supposed to compete at Rutgers tonight. They had a late scheduling change that brings them here to Temple. We've seen Westchester already this year. This is a very good team out of the ECAC, but at the Division II level, they are just 1 week removed from their season high score down at William & Mary. They scored a 193-775. They begin on floor, which is their best event. I think this is a team that, again, we've seen a great Division II team in Bridgeport come here already this season. This is a Division II team that can probably hold its own against the D1 teams here tonight.
Absolutely. All of those teams at that Division II level put up a good fight against all of the Division I teams that they face throughout their season.
Well, we are ready to get this one underway. As you can see on your screen, we will be bringing you each and every routine from all four teams throughout the night, so we'll be keeping our head on a swivel for you. But we'll follow here on our commentary. We'll follow the Temple routines and then get around to everybody else as much as we are able to. Bowling Green is beginning on bars, Penn is beginning on beam, and Westchester, as we mentioned a moment ago, starts on floor. But it's Temple, the home team, that will go in home order, and they will turn to their freshman, Heidi Vanderboom, to lead off the vault lineup.
A little bit of a crooked takeoff on that vault, which caused her to pike down a little bit, so a little bit of an issue to start with, but I'm sure as they keep going, they'll pull up those scores.
Rest of the Temple vault lineup behind Vanderboom: Tori Edwards, Jasmine Estrella, Jaylene Everett, Madison Brooks, and Ariana Castrense in the anchor spot. Bowling Green, unfortunately, started with a fall over on bars. Penn on beam and Westchester on floor. We've got a moment, we'll give you those lineups. Bowling Green will be led off by Elena Lawson, who just finished up her routine. Paige Bachner is second, Kate Goldstrom third, Lily Harsh and Giovanna East, their two all-arounders, fourth and fifth, and Alex Folkler in the anchor spot on bars. Penn begins on beam with a freshman, Rebecca Lashley, followed by Sydney Craze, their all-arounder, Darcy Matsuda, freshman McKaylee Marr, sophomore Natalie Yang, and junior Darby Nelson. Penn is a very good beam team, so keep an eye on the Quakers as well. This is actually their same rotation that they had in the Ivy Classic that they won. And then Westchester on floor starts with senior Jordan Miranda, followed by sophomore Annie Bailey, freshman Kaya Johnson, sophomore McKenna Kissinger, sophomore Rose Finera, and junior Jessica Meekum. And the opening score for Vanderboom is a 9.475.
Definitely not the start they were looking for. Does seem a little bit low, but the judge's position of her pike down could probably be the reasoning for that score. They'll hope to kind of pull that up as a lineup as we move through that lineup. And Nice second vault for Temple. One little step back, but the form in the air and the height off the vault table looked really good.
And that was Tori Edwards, the junior, who is coming off of a season-high 9.775. Temple is a very good vault team. They have been all season, and they're actually coming off of a program record on vault, a 49.150 on this event. So anytime you get a home meet for Temple, they get to start on vault. It's an area where they definitely feel comfortable.
Definitely. Oh, another bit of a mess up on bars there for Bowling Green. Not the start that they are looking for to begin their bars lineup.
It's like a 9.525, the score for Tori Edwards. Lower than what Temple would like to see on those first two vaults.
Definitely a bit lower than they're expecting, especially after they're coming off of their season high. So they're probably hoping at this point that the judges are consistent throughout the night.
Up third is Jasmine Estrella.
Nice Yurchenko full, a little bit of a pike down, but overall knees are straight in the air, and the height off the vault was definitely the best part of that vault.
So Temple halfway finished on their vault lineup. And as the scores come in for Jasmine Estrella, it will be the high score of the evening. So far for the Owls, it is a 9-7 for Estrella. Jaylene Everett, Maddie Brooks, and Ariana Castrense will be the next three in the Temple order. And ready to go up fourth, senior Jaylene Everett.
Very nice vault. Tons of power coming off of the horse. Small step back, but great distance from the vault and a good form in the air.
Well, Temple seems to be doing what you would want, and that's building throughout this order. Right now, the low number is a 9.475 that they hope to drop.
Yeah, as they come through their final meets of the season, they're going to look to, want higher scores in those first and second vaults in case of any issues at the end of the lineup. But as long as they keep building here tonight, they should be in good shape moving on to bars.
Yeah, that's been the real question mark event for Temple, has been bars. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Opening scores elsewhere, Westchester started with a 9.575 for Miranda, 9.7 on beam for Rebecca Lashley, and an 8.625 from Elena Lawson on bars. We go up fifth for Temple, freshman Madison Brooks.
Nice vault, another full twisting Yurchenko. Slight pike down, but again, they're looking at those legs together in the air. A good landing. She had control of the vault. Bowling Green over there with a made bar routine. That's what they're going to look for their third routine up. They will have to count a fall, which is unfortunate, but as long as they finish up with a strong fourth, fifth, and sixth gymnasts in their lineup, they should be in good shape moving to the next event and hoping for some better scores.
Meanwhile, for Temple, 9.525 is the score for Madison Brooks, and Here is Ariana Castrense. We saw last week down at Maryland. She finally pulled out the Yurchenko double full that she's capable of. We are not expecting that here tonight, but I think that's something that we'll look forward to in the postseason. She went 9.875 for a season best last week.
Very nice. You can tell when a gymnast is landing on an 8-incher on the vault, you can really tell that they have a lot of power. So sometimes it is hard for her to kind of hone that in, and that's where sometimes the issues with her landing, taking steps back, comes into play. But still a vault that will score well for the Owls.
And so that will wrap up Temple's opening rotation of the night. And we'll get a chance to turn our attention elsewhere. Penn is halfway finished over on beam. Going up now on bars for Bowling Green is freshman all-arounder Lily Harsh. And out on the floor for Westchester is freshman Kaya Johnson. 9.75, by the way, the score for Ariana Castrense. The numbers just really weren't there tonight for Temple. 48-1 overall, no big mistakes, but certainly not the start that they were probably looking for.
Yeah, a little bit lower than they were expecting, but I'm sure that'll give them, a little bit of a push to get those scores on the rest of their events. Bowling Green with another made bar routine, a beautiful double front dismount, extremely difficult, rated an E, which is one of the harder dismounts that you can do in college gymnastics, so they'll be happy with that routine.
Penn, meanwhile, gets a 9.75 from Darcy Matsuda on beam. That's the high beam score right now for the Quakers. Quakers began with a 9.7 from Lashley, 9.675 from Sydney Craze, who's a name to keep an eye on. She's a sophomore all-arounder for Penn, really great gymnast. We'll obviously see her moving forward. Darcy Matsuda, 9.75, and now freshman McKaylee Marr is on the beam, freshman that has really come on strong for Penn in the last few meets this season.
As you mentioned, you can kind of see the confidence in their lineup. They've definitely figured out the best rotation to go through, which is, always hard on beam, and they have definitely figured it out, and that's where their large success is coming from. Some of that confidence, another beautiful handspring layout step out for them on beam. You can tell that they feel at home on the beam.
Yeah, I mentioned they started there at the Ivy Classic, and they did so well on beam. They had a season best 49.125, and that just set the tone. Yale was really the odds-on favorite in the Ivy, and the four Ivy League schools add Temple and William and Mary, and that makes up the ECAC, which is the true conference championship at the end of this month. And so that Ivy Classic's a great bellwether of who's going to be competitive in the ECAC, and Penn they grabbed that early lead on beam, and they never looked back. Out on floor now for Westchester is sophomore McKenna Kissinger.
Just finished a beautiful Rudy back layout step out, so her routine's looking very solid. A great routine from Penn, finishing up on the beam. I'm sure she's going to be very happy with that, and another high score to look for. Bowling Green over on bars with a huge Tkachev. Tons of height on that, exactly what you're looking for in the execution of that skill. A couple form things here and there with her toes, but overall, again, what they need to finish out their bars rotation with another hit routine.
And that is Giovanna East, gymnast I'm really excited to see in person. Senior all-arounder. She has been excellent. She is a 9.9 threat on a couple of events, beam and floor especially. And just a shame for Bowling Green that you had that start with the back-to-back falls. They've really picked it up since then, but they've obviously dug themselves quite a hole here in the first rotation.
Definitely never the start you're looking for, especially on an event like bars. But as you said, I think finishing out with 4 made routines after 2 falls will be impressive, because it is easy for teams to kind of get shaky and fall apart a little bit, especially after starting with 2 falls.
Statistically, bars is Bowling Green's weakest event, so hopefully they just get this one out of the way and can go where they are strong for the rest of the meet. They've got one more to go, and that will be Alex Folkler in the anchor spot. And on to the beam now for Penn is Natalie Yang. Yang had a 9.875 on beam in that Ivy Classic. That was a season high. She missed some weeks due to injury earlier this season, and it is great for Penn to have her back in this lineup.
Nice acro series to start off. Handspring layout step out. no wobbles. Nice front aerial to flutter kick for Penn on beam. Again, another routine where you can see she's confident in her skills. Unfortunately, over on bars, they have another fall for Bowling Green. Definitely not the rotation they're looking for or the start that they are looking for this competition.
Yeah, tough start there, and again, you've got a really good bars worker in Folkler there in your anchor spot. You can kind of limit the damage by getting a hit and just not able to do so.
Beautiful aerial to back full off the beam to a stuck landing. Another hit routine for Penn. They are definitely where they want to be to start out this meet.
Yeah, this is an excellent start for Penn. Every score has been in the 9-6, 9-7 range. They are poised to jump into the lead here at the end of one rotation, pending obviously how things wrap up elsewhere. But Penn has, again, gotten off to a very solid start. They've got one left on beam. That is Darby Nelson, as Folkler will finish up over on bars.
You can definitely tell with her form on bars, she's a beautiful bar worker, so definitely an unfortunate start to her routine. Nice blindfold to her double back to finish. They're going to look to put bars out of their mind to finish out this meet and head over to beam, which is a tough event to go to after some falls, but they're going to look to pick up their pace there.
And over on floor now, up 5th of 6 for Westchester is Rose Finara.
Starting with a sky-high double pike, great landing and in control. Really had some awareness of where she was in that corner. Nice landing for her 1.5 to punch layout. Her acro right there. Penn's looking to finish out their beam lineup with another hit routine, but as Kevin and I have mentioned throughout this year, you know, when the first 5 hit usually gives you a little time to relax and not stress as much for your routine. But another great series for Penn with a nice back handspring layout step out. So solid start to this routine as well. Beautiful double back on the floor for Westchester. A very nice routine in that 5th spot.
And they've got one more to go, and it is Jessica Meekum, another great floor worker. I think there's 2 schools of thought. We've talked about actually 3 of the 4 teams. Temple on vault, Penn on beam, and Westchester on floor all begin on your best event. So I think there's some confidence there. There's also the, well, we might want to save it until the end. Maybe the scores loosen up a little bit and you can really go big in that 4th rotation. But I think this is everything you could ask for John Ciraldi's Quakers team right now.
Definitely, they are going to have some sky-high confidence going into the rest of their competition, and another great landing. Talk about a great start with 6 for 6 on the beam. You can't ask for more when it comes to starting your competition on beam, which is always a nerve-wracking event, but they look great heading on to the floor next.
Yeah, the high score right now is a 9-8 from Natalie Yang in that 5th spot. We'll see if Nelson can match or exceed that. Penn will also get an exhibition on beam, chance to go 7 for 7 and really show off some depth. Senior Natalie Borden will have an exhibition routine with Penn. Meanwhile, Westchester is coming off of their high score on floor, a 9.775 from Rose Finara. And to finish up for the Golden Rams on floor exercise, here is junior Jessica Meekum.
Starting with a great double pike. You can see her height there. Last meet she scored a 9.3, so she probably had some issues there. This looks like a great start to the routine for her.
And another situation where Westchester has hit 5 for their first 5, so no pressure here for Meekum. They can drop their low score, which is a opening 9.575 from Jordan Miranda.
Heading into her second pass, we'll see full front layout, nice landing there. She just has one more pass to get through, which gets finish up some of her dance. Exhibition over on the beam for Penn. She did aerial round off, kind of a unique series there. Slight wobble, but still on the beam, looked good. Good finish for Westchester on the floor. Another great score, I'm sure, and as we mentioned, they'll look to probably drop that first score.
Casey's going to go from doing this to doing the NFL Red Zone channel. You get 2 routines at once here. That's impressive.
Like we said, got to keep your head on a swivel when it comes to a quad meet. A little bit of trouble on beam for Penn. Again, exhibition, which is a good thing, but you do want to finish that routine with confidence. She'll look to end with a good dismount. Gainer pike. Not a bad routine overall, just, with that back walk of her trying to get that backward skill in, proved to be a little bit of an issue for her.
So Penn now done on beam. They head to floor in rotation 2, and we'll have 1 routine left before we break here, and that will be an exhibition on floor for Westchester. So we'll get to go full screen and take a look at Sarah Bell. Bell has not been in the competition lineup yet this season for the Golden Rams. Again, a very good floor team. That's a tough lineup to crack your way into.
Yeah, for her, this will be a way where if for any reason they do need to use her, whether it be finishing out the season, it's always good to get that competition experience. Starting her routine with a round-off double tuck, a little bit short on that takeoff, which caused her to fall hands and knees. She'll look to finish out with made passes. Off 1.5 to front pike, nice landing. Third and final pass, Westchester. Off 1.5, front tuck, good finish. Unfortunate start with the double tuck, but she pulled it out at the end.
And with that, the first rotation officially comes to an end. And we'll take our first break of the evening, but first we'll get a look at where we currently stand. Here are your scores through 1 rotation, and you've got Penn in the lead after a brilliant beam set, 48-6-5-0 for the Quakers. Westchester opens in second on floor, 48-4-2-5 for the Golden Rams. Temple, the home team, with some work to do, 48-1 on vault. They open in third, and some struggles from Bowling Green, 3 falls in their lineup. They start 46-2-7-5 for the Eagles. So we'll step away and come back with the second rotation. Temple on bars, Bowling Green on beam, Penn on floor, and Westchester on vault when we continue. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you. 1 rotation in the books here at McGonigal Hall, and it is Penn in the lead with a 48-6-5-0 on beam. Westchester in second, Temple in third, and Bowling Green in fourth after some struggles on the bars for the Eagles. So they'll go to beam to try to get things straightened out. Not the easiest place to try to do that, though, Casey.
No, definitely. I am sure that their coach talked to them, told them to completely put bars behind them, focus on the task at hand, and focus on the beam, because that is what they're going to need to do. They can't change what has already happened.
Do actually have one scoring change for you. Annie Bailey got an extra half-tenth on her floor routine, so you can actually bump Westchester to a 48-4-7-5. And they are underway on vault with a very nice Yurchenko layout from senior Paige Parsnick.
Definitely, and as we look through their lineup on vault, you will see that they don't have as many full twisting Yurchenkos, which does decrease their start value, where they will have a little bit of a lower overall score, most likely, but as long as they have good form like that one, they should still remain in a good place.
I'll say that Paige Parsnick, that is her first competition routine of the season. So to be able to come out and do that here, the senior, obviously, she's only got so many meets left in her career. You can do a Yurchenko layout. It is a 9.75 start value, but if you hit it well, that'll score.
Definitely. She had great form and height coming off of the vault, so she, I'm sure, is very happy with that.
So again, we are looking at all four teams. You've got, right now, Westchester on vault. You've got Penn has begun on floor exercise with Rose Hoffman. Bowling Green getting ready to start on beam with Olivia Williams, and we will turn our attention here, at least for our commentary, to Temple on bars, and they will turn to senior Daisy Todd. Todd has been in and out of the lineup this year for Temple, but the senior will get a chance to lead off here for the Owls and try to put a little bit of a disappointing vault rotation behind them.
Daisy will start with her blind half to her piked Jaeger. Nice start, good form in the air. Pretty good handstand right into that bail where she did hit her handstand, so now she'll just look to finish off with a good dismount. Finish that blind full right on top to her double back dismount, a one-step dismount, but that is a good start for Temple on the bars.
Rest of the Temple bars lineup behind Todd is Madison Brooks, Delaney Guerin, Tori Edwards, Jasmine Estrella, and Ariana Castrense in the anchor spot. Unfortunately for Bowling Green, some of their struggles continue as Olivia Williams had to come off of the beam. We saw her just finish there with that punch front full dismount, so that will hopefully be the score that Bowling Green can drop, and if they hit their next 5 on beam. And Rose Hoffman finished up on floor. It looked like she did step out on her third pass. The vault lineup for Westchester here as they get ready for their third vault. From Annie Bailey, the rest of the lineup, McKenna Kissinger, Jessica Meekum, and Kaya Johnson. Paige Parsnick and Kelly Lubking were the first two.
That was a beautiful Yurchenko layout for Westchester. That is, if you're going to do a layout, that's exactly how you want it to look. Straight body in the air, pointed toes, no pike down.
So after a 9-7 to open for Daisy Todd on bars, here is freshman Madison Brooks.
Madison with a great handstand to start off into a beautiful Tkachev, hitting those handstands right into her bail release. Good start for her routine. She'll look to finish up with a solid handstand. Very nice. Into blind full, double back. Beautiful routine. That is exactly what they're looking for after not the vault start that they exactly wanted for with scores. And as we've mentioned, some of their struggles on bars, ups and downs throughout the season. Beautiful start going 2 for 2.
Yeah, this has been a really all-or-nothing type event for Temple. They've got a 49-3 under their belts. That was on podium at GW. That's the second highest bar score in the history of the program. And then they've had a number of meets where they have just had multiple falls and really not done what they wanted to do on this event. So obviously they've got tremendous potential. As with everything else in this sport, it really comes down to consistency this time of year for Temple.
Absolutely, and bars has been one of those events the last couple years that a lot of it, talking to Coach Nilsson, has been a little bit mental for the team. They definitely do have that talent, so it is just putting it together when it counts. Very unique vault for Westchester with a front handspring double full with a good landing. It's very interesting to see how the judges react to different vaults. They're very used to seeing some of these same vault scores and that Yurchenko, so something different.
Yeah, that was McKenna Kissinger. So 2 left for Westchester on vault. That's Meekum and Kaya Johnson. Back to bars now. Delaney Guerin up third after a 9.825 for Madison Brooks.
Nice blind half into her Ginger. Some feet separation finishing that, but caught it, and that is what will count into her straddle back. Didn't quite hit the handstand on that, but came to a degree coming from a handstand that should still count. Finish up with her blind full into the double back. Small little hop on that landing, very close to sticking, but another solid routine from the Owls.
By the way, that 9.825 from Brooks, the routine before, was a new career high for the freshman. We've talked some about impressive freshmen all around here, and Brooks is another one for Temple. He has really been valuable this year and has a bright future ahead of her for the Owls.
It's definitely great for a coach to see a freshman come in and be a staple in your lineup, knowing that you will have them another 3 years.
Yeah, she is in 3 events tonight for Temple. Looking over at vault.
Got a Yurchenko half. Good landing, 1 step coming out, but that, and again, they have had some very nice form and landings on vault, especially when they're not doing those Yurchenko fulls.
That was Jessica Meekum. We've got 1 more to go for Westchester. It was a rare moment here for us to catch our breath.
Yeah.
4 events, nothing happening.
Sometimes the judges do take a little bit long. Unusual on vault to be taking that long, but we got a 9.6 from that Yurchenko half, so that's a very solid score.
That is the high vault score for Westchester so far. Now they'll turn to their anchor, freshman Kaya Johnson. And meanwhile, on bars for Temple, Tori Edwards.
Starting off with a Tkachev into a very nice handstand into her free hip. You always get a little nervous when they're holding those handstands. Looks very nice. See if she can hit her last one. Very good, and she'll wind up for her dismount. Beautiful double layout. Almost a stick right there. They're all very close to getting that stuck landing, but that's another great routine, and form in the air was very nice.
We will go next to Jasmine Estrella, who has been on an absolute tear for Temple on bars. But while we have a moment, Darcy Matsuda is up third for Penn on floor. She's followed a 9.55 from Rose Hoffman and a 9.75 new season high from Edie Graver on floor for Penn.
Penn building off of their beam, which is great to see them. This is definitely putting up a little bit of a competition between Temple and Penn, who will again see each other in a few weeks.
I believe this is already the 4th meeting between Temple and Penn this season, so they have gotten very used to seeing each other. Bowling Green, meanwhile, just wrapped up a routine from Lily Harsh, but 2 sub-9 beam routines to start this rotation. Just been a tough go of it so far for the Eagles.
Definitely, you know, once the team starts unraveling a little bit, coming off of beam, it is hard. Makes the next person in the lineup feel a little bit shaky, I'm sure, so they're going to look to turn that around.
On bars now, Jasmine Estrella.
Beautiful blind full into her very nice Tkachev. Her form in the air is excellent. Into her pack salto. She always does that so beautifully, very floaty, which is exactly what the judges are looking for. She'll look to finish up this routine and hopefully get that final handstand and a stick. She winds up for her double layout. Beautiful, beautiful stuck landing. I mean, we've talked about her high scores and coming off of a lot of great routines, but that seemed like one of her best this season.
I'll tell you what, I was there at the Philadelphia Convention Center when she set the program record with a 9.95, and we're not at the best vantage point here for bars. We are kind of cat-a-corner across the gymnasium, but that looked just as good. I mean, she has just, it's exactly what you want from a senior. She transferred here to Temple. Didn't come out of the gate probably as hot as she would have liked, especially this season, but boy, she is peaking at the right time. It's great to see.
She really is, and that's all you can ask for when you start the season a little bit lower than anticipated, but we've seen her the last 3 to 4 meets really do some of her best routines we've seen and continue to do so. So I know that she is going to be very happy with that.
Darcy Matsuda for Penn scored a 9.75. That matches Graber for the high score so far tonight. Up fourth is Sydney Craze. And finishing up on bars is Ariana Castrense for Temple.
Very nice, blind full, another touch of great height into another good handstand. Good bail. Feet came apart a little bit, but the judges being in their direction may not have noticed as much. Perfect handstand to finish, and she'll wind up for this double layout. Very nice. Let go a little early, but she pulled her chest up at the end, so only caused her to do a little hop. 6 for 6 on bars for Temple. Oh, a little surprised at Jasmine's score.
Yeah, so that was a 9.725 from Estrella, and I've got a tough, again, we are not at the best angle. It's possible that there was a handstand short in there that we're not at a perfect angle to see, but 0.3 deduction there that's a tough one. That's tough.
Especially coming off of 2 other 9.8 plus routines, and her seemed just as strong, if not stronger. So I'm sure she and coach are both a little bit surprised by that.
Temple will have an exhibition from Nicole Smith. We are awaiting the final bar score for Castrense. The big thing is that they do hit 6 for 6. It'll be a higher bar score than they were able to put up on vault. And Westchester, just by virtue of some of those lower start values, they did have to carry a 9.325. Westchester puts up a 47.675 on vault, so they're going to give up some ground here. Penn, though, is just knocking it out of the park on beam and floor. 9.825 is the score for Castrense.
Very nice bar routine, and again, when you hit 6 for 6 on bars and not have to drop a low score, that is great. Look for Nicole here, who has some of the best form, I believe, on the team, so it's looking to have her pull a routine together and make it. It's a very nice, she made her ray, which is very nice, going into a bail, just about the handstand, a little bit short there. Good handstand to finish, toe on, toe off. Blind full, double back. Good save on that landing. It's great to see her make a routine. She's been exhibition quite a few times, and we're very happy to see her, put it all together and build that confidence as an exhibition.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She's exhibition a bit, so we don't keep the statistics on that, obviously. I don't believe that she has hit a routine yet, and you could see how fired up her team was for her, which is great to see.
Definitely.
So we'll continue now and turn our focus over to Penn on floor. They've got 2 left. This is senior Jordan Menino following a 9.825 from Sydney Craze.
Like we said, Penn really doing what they want on this event. Coming off hot, off beam, right into floor. You can see they are definitely peaking at the right time for this season.
Over on beam, meanwhile, is senior Taylor Worthington, up 5th for Bowling Green.
You can see they're a little bit shaky on beam, trying to focus maybe a little too hard on making those routines because of some falls. But right now the focus for them will be to stay on the event.
That exhibition from Nicole Smith scored a 9.6, so good to see from her, and definitely bright things ahead for that sophomore.
Very nice finish there for Penn on floor. Doing exactly what they want to be doing.
And they will finish up with a freshman in the anchor spot, Rebecca Lashley, who has been excellent, certainly in the running for ECAC Freshman of the Year. I think you put Madison Brooks from Temple in that conversation. Lashley's been great, and so she'll anchor floor for Penn as Worthington finishes up.
Very nice aerial to a back full dismount. What they need is for someone to stay on the beam, which is what she did. Still definitely not the first half of this competition that Bowling Green is looking for.
No, the scores so far on beam: Olivia Williams 8.375, Tess Muir 8.875, Lily Harsh 9.55, Sammy Marion 8.975. So Worthington gets a hit routine, and we will get to see Giovanna East, which regardless of the team score, and it just hasn't so far been a good night for Bowling Green, Giovanna East on beam is one that you will want to keep your eyes on. So, keep one eye in that corner of your screen, and Penn will have Rebecca Lashley getting ready to go momentarily on floor. The Quakers are almost assured of the lead at the midway point based on how they've come out of the gate. 9-8 is the score for Jordan Menino.
Definitely building those scores throughout the lineup. What you do want to see is those 9-8 scores, especially as they move into ECACs, and that is what the score that the teams are going to be looking for to know that they can kind of pull ahead.
All right, so we are ready to go. Here is Rebecca Lashley on floor for Penn.
Very nice double pike to start. Heel very close to that line. She definitely knew where she was to not step out.
Meanwhile, beautiful back handspring layout step-out series from East over on beam.
You can see her power even on the beam with that height of that layout step-out and her jumps. It's great to see. Switch leap to a straddle quarter. Again, she hits those 180s and gets that height. Definitely some beautiful beam to watch. And with a 1.5 front layout on floor and nice second pass. So she'll look to make this third pass, and Penn will be in a really great spot on floor. Round off 2.5 dismount on beam. That is very unusual to see in college.
Love
that is an E dismount. She had plenty of height. I wouldn't be surprised if she can do a triple. Absolutely beautiful. And Penn on floor with another made routine. They had the exact rotation they were probably looking for.
Well, that was just a lot of fun right there for those last 90 seconds. That's great gymnastics anywhere you look. So East wraps up for Bowling Green, though we will have an exhibition from Paige Bachner, and we will get an exhibition on floor as well from freshman Carly Kulovich, who has not competed yet this season for Penn. So that'll be an interesting one to see. Penn is, like we said with Westchester, that's a tough floor lineup to crack into right now. They have had some injuries, so always wanting to shore up that depth this time of year.
Yeah, and we have mentioned Penn's depth in previous meets, so they definitely have people that are ready to take the spot in a lineup if need be, so it's always nice to get those competition numbers underway as an exhibition.
And the score is a 9-8 for Lashley, so another great rotation for Penn. It is a new season high on floor exercise, 48.925. They were just off of a 49 on floor. And 49 on a single event is a 196 pace for the meet. So Penn doing great work here to start, and they will have a pretty sizable lead at the midpoint of tonight's meet. And now some exhibitions before we take a break. Again, Paige Bachner on beam, Carly Kulovich on floor.
Paige on beam with a aerial series. Definitely won't get that connection with the wobble in between, but it's always nice to see something different. Penn on floor, starting with a very nice double back. Good landing there.
I just want to take a quick moment, since we were obviously a little, I think, disappointed with the 9.725 for Jasmine Estrella on bars. Let me also voice some disappointment at a 9.725 for Giovanna East on beam. It's been a tough night. It's been tight.
Definitely, and with these judges, you can never be sure what they're looking for, and as long as it is consistent throughout the night, you can't complain too much. Though with you know, you see some routines you feel a little biased towards and some surprise. But again, you know, they have the end score that they are in control of. So as long as they're consistent, can't complain all that much. Looking to end this floor routine, the final pass, 1.5 front layout. Again, stays in just barely with their toes on the line, but a great exhibition routine for the Quakers.
And that will bring us to the halfway point. Here are your scores through two rotations, In first, Penn 97-5-7-5. They have knocked it out on beam and floor. Temple makes up some ground with a 48-7-5-0 on bars. That passes Westchester to put Temple into second with a high 96-8-5-0. Westchester 96-1-5-0 after their 47-6-7-5 on vault. And Bowling Green, some improvement from bars to beam, but work to do for the Eagles on floor and vault. They have a 93-0-7-5 at the break. So with that, we will step away. We'll come back with the third rotation from McGonigal Hall. It's alumni night for the Temple Owls. You're watching live coverage on Owls TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you. We are underway in the third rotation. First vaulter for Penn is Edie Graber. She nails a Yurchenko layout.
Yep, solid landing. And then we start over on beam with Jordan Oster. Nice handspring layout, step out. Solid series to start the routine. Got her switch leap to her tuck full. From my angle, it looked a little short on that switch leap for the 180 degree, but did get the connection into her jump. Cat leap into her front toss. Beautiful, perfect landing, exactly what she needed. To her flutter jump, gainer full, stuck. Definitely the routine that Temple wanted to start with.
Yeah, Temple has gone 49 plus on beam this year. They did it at home with a 49-1 and a great start from Oster. Penn opens in first place at the midpoint, Temple in second. Westchester, who's over on bars, opens in third, and Bowling Green on floor in fourth. The rest of the beam lineup for Temple after Oster is freshman Madison Brooks, senior Jasmine Estrella, sophomore Ariana Castrense, Delaney Guerin, and Taylor Newland in the anchor spot.
Front on vault, great height and good landing for Penn. Again, not a vault that will start out of a 10, but definitely exactly what you need when you are doing a vault of that caliber.
And I'll tell you, the scores on vault have just been tight tonight. That's been the case. You know, we mentioned consistency, and the judges certainly have been. And Penn is vaulting. Those first two vaults, again, they're lower start values, but they're better than any I've seen from Penn, from Graber, and from Jost this year. It's probably not a night where they're going to score particularly well. Graber had a 9.325, but if they can keep doing that, you kind of limit the damage at the start of those lineups. That's a 9.65 from Jost, which is just a shade off of her season high.
Yeah, that there is a good score and deserved. So you can tell that the judges are being particular, but giving the scores where some are needed.
That's what you want. So over on beam now is Madison Brooks.
Started with her jump series, and now she will go into her cat leap, front aerial. Good save. She had a little bit of a pike down, but did not give up on that fight. Into her back handspring layout, step out, very nice. finish with a gainer full. Nice landing, a little bit of a pike down, but on the beam, one slight major wobble, but overall, another hit routine.
A moment ago, Rebecca Lashley did a Yurchenko layout full. A little hop back on the landing for Lashley. That's 3 down for Penn. They've got Jordan Menino, Rose Hoffman, and Sydney Craze in their last 3. Bowling Green gets a good opening score. That is what the Eagles have been searching for tonight. Sophomore Kate Goldstrom opens for the Eagles with a 9-6.
Another 9-6 on vault for Penn. Some consistent scores and what they are definitely looking for as they hit the second half of their lineup.
Yeah, and they're just not going to go as high on vault as they have on beam and floor. It's not really a team built that way, so it's kind of get through this one as we look at Jordan Menino.
Yeah, again, good form in that Yurchenko full. As we've mentioned, they have a little bit of a pike down, not as much height and execution on the vault, but landing on their feet and minimal step backs is what they're looking for.
And the score for Brooks is a 9-6-5 on beam. That was after an opening 9-7 from Oster.
Definitely shows the potential she has on that beam with a fairly major wobble to score 9-6-5. You can definitely see what her capacity is.
So up third here is Jasmine Estrella.
Start with her cat leap to aerial, little bent over and had to bend down, did not touch the beam though, so another slight wobble and an acro skill for the Owls.
Olivia Williams finishes up meanwhile on floor for Bowling Green.
Nice switch side, some flex feet in the air, but beautiful 180-degree leap. Kick off for her handspring layout, step out. Has to lift up a leg. Another deduction that she'll take for that completely bent over wobble. So she'll look to finish up with a solid round off 1.5. Step forward. Definitely not the routine she was looking for, and in reality, hopefully a routine that Temple may be able to drop depending on the score. But again, when you don't have a fall, that is what you're looking for.
Meanwhile, for Westchester over on bars, sophomore Ashley Duke is up fourth. The early score is 9-4-7-5 from Samantha Gill, 8-8 from Samantha Kelly, 9-5 from Jessica Meekum. So unfortunately for Westchester, they just haven't been able to match that really hot start that they had on floor yet on vault or on bars.
Yeah, and you can see Westchester has the release moves that are needed on bars, but some of it comes down to form, some of it comes down to their handstands. You know, that was a major team, but she did drag her feet on her pack and had some leg separation. So you can see where they have some work to do on the bars.
We've got one vaulter left, meanwhile, for Penn. It's Sydney Craze, who has gone as high as 9.85 this year. They need a good one here to drop that opening 9.35 from Graver.
Got a Yurchenko full, a bit of a chest down on that landing with that step forward, which is, in the judges' eyes, worse than a step backwards. You can tell that she just didn't have the exact power she needed to get up and off of the horse.
So it'll be better than that 9.35. They'll get a couple tenths back on their score, but not the best for Craze, and it won't be the highest number of the night for Penn, but they are 3/4 of the way through, trying to catch him. Temple and Ariana Castrense, the Owls all-arounder, is on the beat.
Ariana with one of the most difficult series, in my opinion, in college with that one arm back handspring layout step out. You don't see it often, and she makes it look easy. And it jinxed her a little bit there. You know, she picked up that front leg. She definitely looked straight on the beam. It looked a little bit more like a hesitation and uncertainty rather than being crooked. Beautiful leap series. That switch half was very nice in the air. And Ariana looked to finish up this routine with a round-off double full. Nice landing. Actually, almost looked like her foot slipped a little bit on that round-off, so she was able to pull that back and get that stick.
A reminder, this is the first meet of a double weekend here to cap things off for Temple at home. This is Temple's alumni night. About 20 alumni in attendance for the Owls on this Friday night. And then Sunday, final home meet will, of course, be senior day. And the Owls will take on Ursinus in a dual meet beginning at 4 o'clock, and we'll have live coverage for you right here on Owls TV. So we hope that you'll make it a gymnastics weekend with us.
Temple even hosting a club meet in between this weekend, which is something new that they are starting, a little bit of a Temple invitational. So definitely a weekend here of gymnastics on Temple's campus.
Yeah, we think that this, or I think that this quad meet is a chaotic environment. This is like a church service compared to what it's going to look like in here tomorrow.
Definitely. The only difference is it will be silent because club meets are fairly quiet, which is somewhat of a adjustment when gymnasts come to college. The cheering and the yelling is somewhat unusual when it comes to club gymnastics meets. So you will hear something different here tomorrow, but definitely constant action. Definitely all 4 events going on at once. Westchester just over on bars with a absolutely beautiful Jaeger, one of the highest I may have ever seen in college gymnastics in general. Do a double layout dismount. Nice routine.
That is Melanie Wojwoda, who is very good. She's got a season best 9.875. Certainly one of the best in Division II gymnastics on that event. Back on beam now, Delaney Guerin for Temple.
Start with that back handspring layout. Very nice, no wobbles on that landing. Exactly what she was looking for. Split jump to her split quarter, getting that connection, which will give her her bonus. She'll finish up her routine with an aerial tuck full dismount. Gets the stick, chest down a little bit, but did not move the feet. So another made routine for Temple.
So up 6th for Temple is going to be Taylor Newland, and the strategy here was with Temple having to shuffle their beam lineup a little bit, put Newland 6. You hope you hit 5 in front of her and can let her go compete a pressure-free routine. Temple hasn't quite done that with that 9.325 from Estrella, also a 9.525 from Castrense that they're going to have to carry no matter what. So Temple, they haven't had a major break or a fall, but I think this is one where probably they're counting on Newland here to drop one of those lower scores.
Yeah, not the scores that they are definitely not capable of. Last meet they did have to count a fall on beam, so they will not have to do that tonight, but they are a little bit lower on the threshold than they are capable of, so they're going to look to do this, reset, and hopefully get that beam score they know they're capable of on Sunday.
Melanie Wojwoda's bars scored a 9.725. So again, it's been consistent, it's been tough. I think that there are some folks, I'm not going to wade into the national conversation going on right now, there are some folks that say, maybe this kind of judging could have been over in Los Angeles a weekend ago, but it's been tight and it's been fair.
It is true. It's tough when you're watching so many different competitions during the weekends at different schools and seeing the way they compare. It's hard to compare meet to meet just because the judging can be so different. That is why regionals and nationals are so important, to get them all in the same meet on the same floor.
Lily Harsh just finished up on floor for Bowling Green. It's been another little bit of a mixed bag for the Eagles there. critical beam routine coming here for Temple, trying to keep pace with Penn and keep within striking distance. Here is Newland.
Opens up with a very nice punch front mount, which is, in my opinion, very risky, and you don't see a lot of gymnasts do it.
This is my unsophisticated take, is why make beam tougher than you have to? Just get up there. What are we adding difficulty for?
It is true. I remember my coaches always said get on and off the beam, and that's just adding. If you can make it, it's very impressive, but it is tough. And again, she makes a very nice handspring layout step out. She's going to look to continue to finish this routine with her leaps. Almost in that 180 degree, small deduction there with her feet a little bit flexed, but again, finishing up with that full turn. One last major skill here for Taylor, and she's gonna hope to land with a stick. Goes into her cat leap, side summy, back full, stuck. That is absolutely the routine that Temple wanted and needed, and I'm sure she's very excited about that. Under
pressure as well. That's a tremendous, tremendous job by Taylor Newland on beam. And so Temple will drop that 9.325 and get a couple extra tenths here out of this one. Much needed. 9.625 over on floor for Lily Harsh. That's the high score so far for Bowling Green. We've got 2 routines left for the Eagles and then an exhibition.
Again, Bowling Green getting the scores that they were looking for. Again, not potentially their highest scores that they're capable of, but an event that is going smoother than bars and beam. And she'll open up here with a round off handspring double pike. Nice landing.
Elena Lawson has a season high of 9.85, and Giovanna East will be in the anchor spot.
Nice leaps going into her second pass.
Beam score for Newland, by the way, 9.725, just a quarter tenth off a season high.
Very nice. Front full to front half. Definitely had some power coming out of that. As we look back over at floor. And she'll finish up with a double tuck. Did not get the punch that she was looking for. Safely made a forward roll out of that, but again, tough routine for Bowling Green.
Recap the Temple beam scores while we have a moment. Jordan Oster 9.7, Madison Brooks 9.65, Estrella 9.325, that was dropped. Ariana Castrense 9.525, Delaney Guerin 9.65, and then Taylor Newland 9.725, the high score in that anchor spot for Temple.
And like you said, nothing catastrophic, no terrible scores, but definitely more on the medium of what they're looking for. They would like to be on the higher end of that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the case with vault, too, right? No mistakes, but it wasn't the cleanest, and gave away a few tenths, had, a 48-1, which is right in the middle of where they've been this year, but a number that they'd like to be higher now that we're into March. Unfortunately for Bowling Green, they just have not been able to shake it tonight. Those early struggles, they fell on their first 2 bars routines, and sometimes it's just one of those nights, unfortunately, and they have not been able to get it turned around yet here tonight.
It is. You have some bright spots throughout their lineups here and there, but overall I am sure they will leave this competition a bit disappointed with the overall performance and looking to have a good week of practice so they can finish out their season strong in the MAC.
It's an 8.95 for Elena Lawson, and to finish up is Giovanna East. Remember, she is a 9.9 caliber gymnast on this event, so fittingly, all eyes on East here in McGonigal Hall as she finishes up this third rotation.
Starting with a very high 2.5 punch front, a pass that you don't see often. Switch side to her wolf full, getting that leap credit. Heading into her second pass. The team behind her doing some of her floor routine with her. Very nice. I love the passes that go into the layout step out. You can see her power and her height again. She'll look to finish strong with her third pass. Nice. Rudy straddle into a Shushanova to finish. Really helps guarantee a good landing. Great routine for East. Again, coming off of a tough floor lineup, but for her, her night has been pretty strong overall.
Yeah, she had that 9.725 on beam, though. I thought that was an excellent routine. 9.725 on bars as well for East, who is in the all-around tonight. We will have an exhibition routine for Bowling Green, and then we will come to a break here, our final break before the last rotation of the night. Temple will finish up on floor. Bowling Green will be on vault. Penn trying to seal this win on bars, and Westchester is going to go to beam. Penn is going to lead Temple by 4 1/4 tenths going into the final rotation. They will try to seal it on bars, which has been hit or miss for Penn this year, no pun intended. Temple goes to floor exercise. Advantage there for Temple, obviously competing floor at home in the final rotation.
Yes, this is where they can try to close that gap and potentially pull ahead. Penn's going to look for another solid rotation to kind of keep up with those scores.
It is a 9-9 for Giovanna East on floor for Bowling Green for the senior. That matches her season high. Really well-earned score.
Definitely. Good to see, you know, the judges giving what is earned, and now we head Temple to floor, so hopefully they can build on that
there you go.
Solid finish.
Yeah, they owe a tip of the hat to Giovanna East if that's the case for setting those scores for them. So let's take a look at where we stand through 3 rotations as Bowling Green has scratched their exhibition. So Penn in the lead. They have led this one wire to wire. 145-525 for the Quakers, trying to hold off Temple here at home. 145-1 for the Owls. In third, Westchester 143-625, and Bowling Green 140-625 in third. So this will be our final break of the evening. We'll come back with the 4th and final rotation. You're watching live gymnastics coverage here on Owls TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV. 4th and final rotation is seconds away from getting underway. The touch warm-up's about to expire. Bowling Green is going to be on vault, Penn on bars, Westchester on beam, and Temple on floor. And Casey, the salient question for us here is, can Temple chase down Penn, who enters this 4th rotation in the lead by about 4 1/4 tenths? It's a lot of ground for Temple to make up on floor. Penn really just needs to hit on bars. If they can do that, they're going to make life very difficult for Temple on floor. And an exciting preview here of what we might be seeing on this very floor 2 weeks from now in the ECAC Championship.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see what Temple can pull out on floor, because as you mentioned, they have some ground to make up. They definitely have the talent and the ability to score high enough to do so, but they're going to need to hit some of their best routines, possibly of the season, to pull that lead, especially if Penn does hit 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6.
Yeah, interestingly, for all the talent that Temple has on floor, and they really haven't put it fully together yet. Floor is the only of the 4 events for Temple that they have not broken 49 this season. This would be a terrific time for Temple to change that if you're head coach Josh Nielsen. So here is Taylor Newland, who had that brilliant beam routine. to get started. Meanwhile, over on bars for Penn, senior Jordan Menino.
Taylor's going to start with her double pike pass. Very nice landing, got her chest up at the end. Plenty of space without going out of bounds, so a good start. Front lay to tuck full. A little low on that second pass. You'd like to look to go up a little bit more, but had control in her landing. Some good leaps. Straddle full. Taking some breaths in her dance before she gets into her third pass. Look to come up with a solid landing, inbounds. She goes with her round up handspring double tuck. Very nice, great height, plenty of power at the end of that routine. Coming off of a great beam routine, she is definitely good to go on floor, building that confidence for that lineup.
Yeah, it's a really excellent meet tonight from Taylor Newland, and that's what Temple wants to see. Contributions out of their freshmen stepping up big. Meanwhile, for Penn, they opened with a 9.675 from senior Jordan Menino, and now another senior, Alex Kothe, on the bars.
Very nice blind full into a little bit loose in her ginger, low on that handstand, but transitions well into her bail. That's the handstand she was looking for. Finishes with blind full, double tuck. Very nice, quick jump to the judges, but I do believe I would count that as a stick. Definitely the college stick there.
Yes, I would give it to her as well. You can see you don't want to let the excitement get ahead of you there, but Kothe really happy with that hit routine. Meanwhile, this is a sign that we might be in for some fireworks here. 9-8, new career high to open things up for Taylor Newland on floor.
That is definitely the start they're looking for.
And now Jaylene Everett, the senior, will follow suit.
There we go, starting off her routine with front, double full punch front. Beautiful, very controlled, one of the better ones I've seen from her. You know, that first pass being a E skill into the punch front gives her 4/10 bonus. And when you make that, that gives you a lot of confidence going into the end of the routine. Rides into her double pike middle pass. Great height. That is what Jaylene Everett is looking for in those landings. Into her nice leap pass, 180-degree split. Gonna look to close out this routine. Got her Rudy, very nice controlled landing. Excellent routine. You can tell she and the team very happy with that.
Yeah, Jaylene is so good on vault and floor. She hasn't quite gotten to where her career highs have been yet in her senior year, but she's got a lot to give on those two events, and you could be seeing a great closing run here to her season if she can keep this up.
Could hear Penn, meanwhile, cheering on the team, happy with their routines and their start, so definitely a little back and forth we're seeing right here.
Yeah, they've hit 3 for 3, 9.675s each for Jordan Menino and Alex Kothe, a 9.7 for Libby Garfoot, and now Sydney Craze will finish up her night in the all-around. The sophomore is on the bars.
Blind half into that straddle Jaeger. A little close there, but was able to pull it out. She's got some form issues in her bail, but she's going to look to hit this final handstand as she winds up for the dismount. Blind full, double back. Oh, not a bad landing, a little low as far as the double back, but it definitely got her chest up at the end.
Well, make it 2 for 2. Season highs for Temple. Newland 9-8, Everett 9-8-2-5.
Great start.
Owls are charging here at home in the final rotation. Tori Edwards up third.
Lines up for her first pass. Double pike. Very nice, good landing. Chest a tiny bit low, but gets it up quickly. Right into her jumps. Gets those connections all the way around. The team doing her moves with her on the side, pushing her through for this routine. Into her Rudy middle pass. Nice landing, still lots of power you can see coming out of that Rudy. Finishes with a 1.5 front pike, a little low, but gets it to her feet and finishes strong.
Over on vault, Giovanna East finish up the night. Looked like from our vantage point, she stuck that cold.
You can see the height and form off the vault for her. She's got sky-high power coming off of the horse, the execution that you're looking for.
McKaylee Marr also had a stuck landing on her bars routine, so we've got one left for Penn, and we're going to know the number. Penn's going to set the lead in the clubhouse. Temple's going to try to chase him down. They keep scoring in the 9-8 range. Penn's been stuck in that 9-6, 9-7 range. It's going to get awfully close. Craze with a 9-7-2-5 is the high score, so we're waiting on the score from McKaylee Marr, and then Rose Hoffman is in the anchor spot. Scores for Tori, it's going to be a 9-7-2-5.
No, I think that's consistent with the two before her. It's still a great score that they're going to be happy to count, drop if needed, but no disappointments there.
Meanwhile, on beam for Westchester is Kaya Johnson, the freshman. She is up fourth in the Westchester lineup. Sarah Boyd and Yolanda Nandarsi will finish up. Score for Marr was a 9-7, so Rose Hoffman ready to go. Final routine for Penn. Up fourth on floor for Temple, Jordan Oster.
They'll look to keep the momentum going. Starts with her wolf 1.5, right into her first pass. Got that punch front into her double tuck. Difficult pass, lands it well. Got her switch ring, split half. Finishing up the dance as she gets ready for her second and final pass of the routine. Double pike, very nice landing. Looked like she was going to squat a little bit too much, but was able to pull it up, get her chest up fast, and a Very nice routine.
Well done there by Jordan Oster. 2 left for Temple, Castrense and Guerin. And unfortunately, Penn, who had hit 23 for 23, comes off the bars. It was just a routine that never got going for Hoffman. She cast it over on her clear hip to handstand and just lost her momentum, eventually had to come off. So that is the score that they will drop. And so we know now that Penn is going to finish with a 194 even. So that is the number that Temple is going to go try to chase down here on floor. It's well within reach if they can put up some big scores in their last 2 routines. For Penn, I know they'll be disappointed about the way they finished, but it's the second highest score, second 194 of the season for Penn. And again, I think this is a team that has gotten so much better since the start of the season, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with at ECACs this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely a contender, and if tonight shows anything, they can look back and see the confidence that they built, especially starting on beam, which seems to work well for them, and kind of work on some of the issues on bars, maybe work on some of the landings, the handstands, but overall, a competition they cannot be disappointed with.
It is a 9.75 for Oster. Ariana Castrense to cap off her night in the all-around for Temple.
This has the potential to score extremely high. The focus for Castrense is really those landings and staying in bounds. Start with her double layout, E-pass, looking to stay within those white lines. Beautiful double layout, a controlled landing, which is exactly what she needed. Gets into her dance and her fun in her routine right now. She will do 2 passes in her routine, which is part of the reason she has that difficulty, allows her to do 2 passes. Just stays in bounds on that. Good control and knowing where she was.
That's a big 10th for Temple to avoid giving up.
She'll be happy with that routine. Not her best second pass that I have seen, but one of the better landings I have seen on her double layout.
Right now, by our unofficial score, a 9.8 for Castrense would ensure at least a tie for Temple, and a 9.825 or above here would seal the Temple win before Delaney Guerin goes. So really they need one 9.825 out of these last 2 routines.
Definitely a possible score, not out of reach. It's going to be tough. That is another very high score for them to reach at. Landings will matter. Not quite sure if Castrense will get it, but we'll see what the judges come up with.
And Guerin capable as well, and you have to remember that we know it here because we're keeping it close track of it on a spreadsheet. They've got no idea what that number is down there. Delaney Guerin, who has been great on floor in that anchor position, just trying to go out and hit a strong routine. We've got 198 for Castrense.
Westchester over on beam with a solid start to her routine with a nice punch front and a 9.775 on the floor for Castrense.
So it's going to take a 9.75 for Delaney Guerin to tie, a 9.775 to give Temple the win.
No pressure. First pass underway. And out of bounds on that first pass. Not the finish that she's unaware of, but we are.
So again, there's the deduction for the bounce out of that pass, and then the 110 neutral deduction coming off of her final score. And it kind of is a compound issue there for Guerin.
Just a little bit of not enough power coming into these passes. Loses control on that Rudy. Has to tuck it to make it around. Smart decision on her part, but definitely a rough finish. Look to finish with best pass of the night. Toe looks like it went over. Judge looked like she almost waved her hand and chose not to, or wasn't sure.
This is one where we actually have a great angle because it's literally right underneath our broadcast position. So, yeah, Temple actually steals a 10th there that deduction didn't come up. And unfortunately, that will obviously be the score that gets dropped with Guerin putting her hands down. And this will be a heartbreaker for Temple. Again, our scores are unofficial, barring any inquiries, barring any reviews, anything of that nature. The final score is Penn 194, Temple 193.975. The closest margin possible in the sport is what Penn is going to hang on to take the win. So we actually do have routines left. We have Westchester on beam, so let's stick with that before we give you our final scores and sign off.
Finishing out with a nice handspring layout step out. Beam's always a tough one to end on when no other routines are going, but she's handling it well. Very nice leap to jump to layout step out. Looks like she's getting ready for her, one last leap before off the beam. A little short on that 180-degree split. Maybe looked a little hesitant towards the end of this routine. And she's going to go into a cartwheel, gainer full. Very solid routine to finish up for Westchester.
And that was Jordan Miranda in the exhibition spot. Yolanda Nadarsi had a 9.8 to lead Westchester, and the Rams did well on beam and floor. Just didn't have enough high scores on vault and bars. They came out of the gate hot, opened in second at the end of one rotation, but as we get ready to bring you our final scores tonight, we remind you that we're going to say goodbye momentarily, but you can stick around. We will take a break, and on the broadcast here you can catch the entire award ceremony as we'll have the final official team scores. But this was an interesting one, Casey, and if we in a couple weeks here right back on this floor at McGonigal Hall see another mano-a-mano showdown between Temple and Penn with an ECAC title on the line, if tonight was any preview of what we could be looking at, it could be a lot of fun and a lot of stress on that Saturday in March.
No, it's true. Temple's going to look to defend their title here at home. So it's going to be a tight one, and we know that a lot of the other teams in the conference have capacity to win as well. So we're going to be really looking at Temple, looking at what they've done, work on those improvements, and come back even better, even on Sunday before they have to focus on any other routines.
And now let's take a look at your final scores tonight. Again, closest margin possible, .025, 1/4 of 1/10. Penn takes the victory tonight with a 194, their second best mark of the season. Temple 193.975, just coming up one routine short at the end. of a come-from-behind win. Westchester takes third with a 191-950, and Bowling Green finishes in fourth. Final score of 188-7 for the Eagles. So as we've said, Sunday at 4 o'clock, we're back here for senior night. Temple will be in a dual meet taking on local rival Ursinus. We hope that you'll join us right here on Owls TV. And we also remind you that owlsports.com is the home of the 2020 ECAC Championships. Casey and I will have that 6-team meet for you Saturday, March 21st at 12 noon. So we hope that you'll join us then as well. So, Casey, again, a mixed bag for Temple. There were some great things tonight. Obviously, they were right in the mix for a win tonight, and we've seen over the last couple of weeks they've had some wins against their ECAC rivals head-to-head. They've now had some losses. Last week they fell against Yale down at Maryland. Tonight they fall at home against Penn. They've got some work to do to put together the kind of meet that it's going to take to perhaps win a conference championship here at home.
No, it's easy to see that it is not in the bag for Temple. They do have to take a look at some of their routines, see what changes they can make, and know that every tenth of a point counts. Clearly, as we can see in tonight's meet, they have to hit 24 out of 24 and hit them really well to kind of take that title and be sure that they are going to have that lead.
So with that, we will say goodnight. We remind you that you can stick around. Coming up momentarily will be the presentation of the awards and the final team scores. For my partner, Casey Addison, all of us here at Owls TV, this is Kevin Kopp saying thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you back here Sunday at 4 o'clock.
please turn your attention to the floor for the award ceremony. On vault, tying for third with a score of a 9.725 from Bowling Green, Samantha Marion, and from Westchester, Kaya Johnson. In second place with a score of 9.75 from Temple University, Ariana Castrense. And in first with a score of 9.875 from Bowling Green, Giovanna East. On bars, in third place with a score of a 9.75 from Westchester, Yoli Nodarsi. And tying for first on bars with a score of a 9.825, Maddie Brooks and Ariana Castrense from Temple University. On beam, tying for third with a score of a 9.725 from Penn, Darcy Matsuda. And from Westchester, Jessica Meekum. Tying for first on beam with a score of a 9.8 from Westchester, Yoli Nodarsi. And from Penn, Natalie Yang. On floor, tying for second place with a score of a 9.825 from Penn, Sydney Craze. And from Temple, Jaylene Everett. And in first place on floor with a score of a 9.9 from Bowling Green, Giovanna East. And now for the all-around results. In third place from Penn with a score of a 38.8, Sydney Craze. In second with a score of a 38.875 from Temple University, Ariana Castrense. And in first with a score of a 39.225 from Bowling Green, Giovanna East. And now for the overall team standings. In fourth place comes the Bowling Green Falcons with a score of a 188.7. In third place with a score of a 191.95, the Westchester Golden Rams. In second place with a score of a 193.975, your Temple Owls. And taking first with a score of a 194 flat, Pennsylvania University.